All right, it looks like we're live. So today what I'm doing is I have some photos that I took yesterday, and I'm by no means a rodeo photographer. It's one of those things I was doing a shoot yesterday for a client, and I had access to a rodeo where after I got the shots that I was there to get, I actually had some time to try to get some creative shots of the different riders and stuff. So what I'm going to be doing is here in just a second, I'm going to open up Lightroom and basically just going to hang out, chill, and kind of just go through and edit some photos. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. If you have questions about anything that I'm doing, if you're watching on the replay, be sure to drop that down in the comments. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the photos. And again, I haven't really looked at these photos. I'm not sure how good they're going to be. Hopefully they're good enough. If not, hopefully we can save them a little bit with Lightroom or maybe some other third-party tools that I'll be showing in just a bit. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive right on in. So let me pull this up. All right, there we go. So here we have a few photos. I'm just kind of quickly just scrub through this so you can kind of see what some of the shots that I got. Some of them I'm just worried about they're just going to be a little bit too grainy, but maybe we can save some of that, but we'll just kind of play around and go through it. This one I was kind of playing around with already a little bit, but let's just go ahead and let's see what we got. So what I like to do is try to position this. If I didn't get the shot good in camera, I like to try to position it as close to I can to one of these thirds here just to make sure that the composition's all good. So we want to make sure that we just adjust the horizon, make sure that, you know, everything is the way it's supposed to look. It's not sideways or anything like that or rotated. And then reposition it within the frame where it makes sense. I think that looks okay. Actually, I feel like there's a little bit of weird open space over here. So let's do this. And then what I like to do is I just kind of go through some of my presets. Some of these black and white ones, they look pretty cool. And you can honestly save a really grainy photo with just using some black and white and then just calling it that. But for me, I want to actually put these in color. So let's just find one of my presets that's going to work. Typically what I use, this is just kind of like the base for what I'm going to be doing. And then I'll do some more refining whenever I actually apply the preset to the photo. So let's look through and see what we like. I think I like this style here, this ember drift. Looks good. We'll bring down that exposure just a little bit. Now you can see it's a little bit soft. Now, ideally, you can see that there's some motion blur here, so it's not the sharpest it could possibly be. So again, I might even forego editing this photo just because I'm rather not going to use it because it's just too soft. You can see I shot it at ISO 5000 at 70 millimeters, f2.8, and then it was at 1/640th of a second. So that's way too slow for rodeo photography. So we're just going to go ahead and just forego this one because it's not a very sharp looking image. Let's keep going though. Let's see what we got here. We might be able to work with something here. And it really just depends on, the speed at which the horse was moving at that time. So we can look around and a lot of this looks like, I mean, there might be a little bit, but you might not be able to notice much of the motion blur. We might be able to use this. You can see his cowboy hat fell off there. Let's let's play around with this one. We might be able to make this one work. Get that guy out of the shot. Maybe bring this up a little bit too. Yeah, actually, let's adjust that. Okay, and then let's go ahead and apply my preset. And then let's bring this down a little bit. I'm going to bring the shadows up a little bit so we can make out the horse. And actually what I might do is bring the clarity the opposite direction a little bit. Normally I don't really like pushing the clarity too much. And you can tell it's definitely grainy. So we'll kind of clean that up here in just a sec. Let's see. I feel like we need some music to go with this. 1 second. Let me pull up some music real quick over here. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in my headphones too. That way we should be able to get it to play through with the stream as well. Forgive me, this is my first time doing this and we're doing it live, as they say. So let's see what we got. All right. Let's just go check up here in the stream and see if we got some music coming through. Actually, we should just be able to play it in here. Let's play this one. I got a couple of them inside of the stream already. All right. And I think that should be playing, but hopefully it is. If not, it's going to be super awkward, but yeah, let's keep going. So let's hop back over here, and I'm back into Lightroom now. I've already adjusted all the music and everything. So let's make some adjustments here now that I'm looking at this image. Bring that down a little bit. Really what I'm just trying to do is get the composition to something I'm happy with. Yeah, that's not bad. It's a little bit warm. I like the warm look just because it's got that, the Western vibe to it. So I like the warmth being a little bit, but let's just adjust the saturation, bring some of that up. And, there is still a little bit of motion blur going on with the face here, but we're gonna edit it just because we've gone this far. And let's scroll down here. Maybe add a little bit of vignette. Before and after. Not too bad. Let's do this. Let's clean up some of that noise in the shot. Let's see if we can get some of that motion blur to clean up and get a little bit more sharp. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click. We're going to go down to edit in. We're going to select Topaz Photo AI. And then you can leave all these settings how they are. Edit a copy. Always do that just so that you make a new copy if you ever need to go back. But Topaz is awesome. I don't know if you guys have ever used it, but I mean, it saved me a few times. There's been a few times where I've done group photos and I didn't set the, I didn't have my aperture set to where I needed to be. And so there were some people in the background in the back of the photo that were out of focus. And I was able to bring back their face and actually make it sharp. So it saved me a few times. Because some of those photos were like important photos for shoots and stuff like that. So here we go. A lot of stuff going on, but what we're going to do is we're going to remove noise. We can sharpen it. We're not going to worry about recovering faces. You can do that. You can upscale it. You might upscale it. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think that we're going to need to. Sharpen it, recover faces, preserve text, adjust lighting, crazy lots of stuff that you can do. But what we're going to do is make those adjustments. It says it's removing that noise now. Just take a second. It's crazy. Like Topaz is awesome. It's, in my experience, it's been much better than using actual Lightroom. So let's just see what you can see the difference in the amount of noise that it removes. The big thing is to just zoom it out and then kind of look at it that way too. That's looking good. Yeah, let's go ahead and save it. So what it's going to do is it's going to save it in Topaz, and then you'll be able to go back over to Lightroom and you can finish tweaking it in Lightroom as well. That'll take just a second. While we're waiting on that to do its thing, let's just go through here. You can see it's creating that new image over here. If you guys are just joining on the stream, what we're doing is I'm taking some of these rodeo photos that I just shot yesterday. I'm by no means a rodeo photographer. I'm an amateur at best. Like this is really like my second time ever really doing it. And I still don't really know what I'm doing. So what we're doing is we're editing some of the photos. I think I got some decent ones, but some of them, I don't know that I was able to get my shutter speed up high enough to be able to get some sharp images. So what we're doing is we're just going through and we're editing these photos to see, maybe I'll post some of these on Instagram later. Let's see what we got going on with Topaz. We got two of them open up. It's probably not helpful. Okay, so that's going to be processing for just a second. Let's pop over here and see if there's anything going on in the chat. Let me know if you guys have questions in the chat. I'm gonna grab my water. Can you guys hear the music? I have music going on in my headphones, and I'm not sure if it's coming through in the stream. I'm not sure if it's too loud or not, so let me know if it's overwhelming or overbearing, because I can adjust the volume as well. All right, we should be, I might have to leave the topaz thing to the end because this is taking a lot longer than I anticipated. I guess I should have known that it was going to take a little bit longer. So what we'll do is we'll do some of the noise reduction at the very end. Like the noise reduction software inside of Lightroom is incredible, don't get me wrong, but I've just had better results with using Topaz than I have with Lightroom in the past. So typically what I'll do if I'm needing to reduce noise is that's just kind of been like my workflow, is just kind of go over to Topaz. But usually I do this all at the end anyways. Should have known better. I'm going live. I just wanted to kind of show you, take you guys through that process. Okay, so it looks like our photo is all good now. So this is the before. You can see what we have with the noise. This is after. So I think it looks a lot better. You know, there is some, you know, stuff that's kind of definitely looks a little AI, but for social media, it'll do. It's definitely not something I'm going to have for a print, but for social content, it'll work. So what I'll usually do, this is just kind of a personal thing, is I will rate all of these with a star. This is probably, it's just a weird way to do it, but you could do it by rating it with a 5 or not. But typically what I'll do is that when I'll cull through my images, and then I'll end up with all the photos that I plan on editing, and then I'll cull through it again. But the way that I do that is just by giving it a 1 or not giving it any type of rating. So if a photo gets 1, then that photo is not something that I'm going to use. So this photo here looks cool, a little bit too much motion blur. Yeah, you know, he's not even in focus there. This guy over here is the thing that's in focus, so that's going to get a 1. And the reason why is because at the end, what I'll do is I'll change the filter to unrated, and it will only leave the photos that I didn't rate, and those are the photos that I want to keep in Lightroom. So let's just keep going. What's in focus here? Anything in focus? Something is. I think it's focus is over here, because this is definitely not in focus. So this photo is not usable. It looks cool though. It looks like this over here was the thing that was actually in focus. It's odd. I don't know. We'll play around with it. I'm gonna leave that one for now. This one might be good. We shot this one at 131 millimeters, 8,000 ISO. Wow, that ISO is cranked. And then we shot it at 1,250th of a second. So let's see what we can do with this. Let's go ahead and just adjust the composition. Make sure that it's rotated properly. Got all of our lines looking good. I'm not a huge fan of this because it's a really flat looking image. There's not much depth. It's not like my favorite. But what we used earlier was our Ember Drift. And instead of going through that whole process, let's just do this. Because I like the way that I edited it. Let's just copy our settings from that there. And then let's go over here and let's, oops, wrong photo. Let's just see. I don't know. We might have an image there. We'll see. I don't think that we do. But let's just go ahead and paste it to this one. I think what would be better for this image is if maybe we moved it over a little. No, there's no really, I don't think. Yes, we got that. Now let's adjust the contrast. Put some of that exposure down a bit. Bring some shadows up. Black, and let's adjust this white as well. And it was the thing that sucks. I mean, I guess you could use it to your advantage, is that inside of the arena it was a little bit hazy, and that was just because of all the dirt that was getting kicked up from all the horses. So that's a downside to it, is that, you know, some of it is going to be hazy and soft anyways. It looks like I missed focus on this. These guys are in focus in the background, so let's do a better job about looking and seeing what we have actually in focus and what is not in focus. Kind of hard to see with some of these that are not properly exposed. either, so that's not a good photo. This guy looks like it might be a good photo though. All right, let's check it out. My hats off to these guys that do this rodeo stuff, because this is it's pretty insane what they put their bodies through. Oh, this one might be good. Let's see. I might want to bring that back down a little bit. And we got that horse in the air, the rider's face. We want to include this guy over here. I think it's good. It tells more of a story. That's one of the things I always like to try to do. Just want to try to balance out the photos. Like, you want to include something else in the image. You try to, it helps convey more of a story rather than just filling the subject with the frame. Like, you definitely want to have a clear subject in your shot, but adding something else to the shot makes it a little bit more interesting. It tells more of a story, because people wonder, is like, well, this guy here is one of the guys that kind of saves the rider once he's trying to get off of the horse whenever he's done doing his time. So let's just leave him in there for now. Let's see, Designer Doss said, hi. Hey, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Thanks for hopping on the stream. Let's see what we got. All right, so actually we like there being more room over here just because he's facing that direction. Gives it a little bit more room to breathe on the left side of the photo. So let's go ahead and bring up some shadows. Again, this isn't there's definitely some noise that we're gonna have to clean up here. Let's do this. Bring some saturation back in. Zoom in a little bit too. Yeah, and see, we got it's pretty much frozen here. I don't really see any motion blur. There might be a tiny bit, but it's not noticeable at a distance. Background music is loud. Okay, thanks for the heads up. Let me go ahead and adjust that real quick. All right, let's see. Thanks for the heads up. That was one of the things I was worried about earlier. I'm glad somebody said something. Okay, now I think that's looking okay. I'm gonna bring up some of that green. And how about now? How's the music now? Let's add. I actually think I like that better when we bring the clarity the opposite direction. It's good now, good. All right, perfect. All right. I feel like this horizon's kind of off a little bit. Yeah, that looks a lot better. All right, so I'm good with that for now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna clean this up in just a bit and really finish up. But right now I'm just going through, seeing what images are usable and then which ones we just kind of need to scrap. So next, this one might be good too. He's in focus. Looks like we got everything frozen. So let's just do this. We're going to copy over these settings because this is the same. I shot with the same settings in camera with these two different shots. It was just like within like a second of each other probably. So yeah, that might be a better shot. We'll see though. Let's adjust that just a little bit. All right. I think that's good for now. Let's check this one out too. We'll paste our same settings. All right. This one might be a lot better than the others because it looks like we got some. Is he in focus? Yeah, he's in focus. Okay. Yeah, the background's out of focus. It's crazy. It sucks because whenever you know, from where I was at, I was shooting at like 110 millimeters. And it's because they're so close to the opposite side of the arena, it's hard to get that separation from the background. It's almost like you're shooting on a wide lens. It's hard to get that blurry background whenever you got to be, I was only shooting on a 70 to 200. So it's kind of hard to get that separation from the background. And it's really hard. I was trying not to, what I tried to do was just have like a single point of autofocus on my camera. So once they get into a certain spot within the frame, then I just kind of squeeze the trigger and get as many shots as I can. But you can see even still, it's hard to nail focus, even with autofocus. So it was something that I couldn't just let the autofocus just grab whatever it felt like, because the horse is moving so fast, you wouldn't really be able to get anything in focus. All right, let's see. And again, this isn't my niche, if you will. This is just something that I thought was cool. Might be something that I explore more of, just being able to go out and do some rodeo photography, because this was actually really fun. Let's see. Horizon's off a little bit still. And then let's do this. Okay, let's leave that for now. We'll keep going. See, this is a lot better. You got more separation. There's a lot more depth. And so let's see what we got in this shot here. Yeah, this one looks a lot better than the other. And there's one clear focal point in this shot. Looks like we got everything. I don't think we have any motion blur. That might be a tad bit of motion blur. No, that's not. It's frozen. It's just very low resolution. Again, these photos kind of look like they were shot on a low quality camera, but the problem was the lighting wasn't. It was in an arena, so the lights were not that great. And I was having to shoot at a high ISO, and I was having to shoot at a really high shutter speed. Well, I was having to shoot at a high shutter speed, so the only option that I had, I was shooting at f2.8. The only option I had was to crank the ISO as high as I could, and this is kind of the result. So what we're gonna do is, in just a minute, once I get all the photos that I feel like I'm happy with, we'll transfer them over to Topaz AI, and then we will make everything look, or get rid of a lot of the noise and try to make things look a little bit more sharp. But I want to try to do as much of that inside of Lightroom as I can. Let's see. Another thing, we don't want to go too dark, because you want to be able to separate the horse from the dirt. It's a brown horse. You can do that with color modification and stuff like that, but I could adjust the color of this, but I don't really feel like I need to. It's a little bit more, add some more paint to this, so the horse actually looks the way that the horse did, not green. And then let's keep going. It's a cool shot. So some of these shots, you can definitely tell from the beginning, like this is not that great of a shot because everything's kind of out of focus. You can definitely tell I was starting to get a little bit more used to shooting the longer I was taking pictures out there, because these photos look like they're getting a little bit better each time. This was probably one of the best ones so far. Looks a little crazy. You got a little bit of motion blur from the horse, but this is one of the better ones so far. I don't know. You guys tell me, because some of this could be, just me being biased to my own shots. This could look absolutely terrible to you guys. And then let's keep going. Designer DOS says it looks good. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's adjust the horizon, because that's really bad. Okay, look at that. That's the face of pain right there. I know I can only imagine what this guy's going through at this point in time, because dude, some of these horses were pissed. Some of them were like trying to jump over these. Some of them were trying to jump over these gates over here, not over on this side, but over here where they actually let them out. They were like climbing up on these little red gates. They were so pissed off. So yeah, pretty crazy. Let's keep going over here. I don't want this horse's head like right in the shot there. I don't know. I kind of like that being on that third right there, but I don't know how well it goes with it. That might be pretty good. Again, let's adjust some of this, get some of that green out, because when you look before, you can see there's some green in there, like on the a horse's fur and everything, and that's not supposed to be there. So we'll bring some of that back. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust it. Like what I said earlier is like usually if I don't like the photo, I'll just rate it as a 1. And then that's just my way of kind of culling through all the photos that I added to Lightroom. And so let's go back here and let's do unrated again. And now we have only like a handful. So this is the first one that I edited. Again, there's too much really going on with this shot. I don't like that you can't really tell what's going on with him because you got all this stuff that's kind of still in focus. There's not enough separation. And this just isn't that, like, it looks like a cool shot, but it's not, it's really hard to really tell what's going on. So it's not my favorite. I like this shot. I don't think I like it because there's clear depth in the photo. So let's just see if we can save it real quick. I'm going to just play around with it for just a second, but I don't know that we're going to be able to because I don't think that, I feel like the thing that's in focus is this 23 back here, but those guys don't really look like they're in focus. What looks like what looks like the focus is on, it looks like it's here, or this B right here. So we're gonna throw it in topaz just for fun, but because we might be able to make it look a little bit more sharp. Again, there's been times where I've not had things in focus, like people's faces, and thrown it in Topaz AI, and I was able to bring the face back to full like sharpness. Well, not bring it back, but I was actually able to make it look like I shot the picture without the face being blurred out in the background. So let's do that. We'll raise that up just a little bit. Bring that pink up just a little bit more. Okay. Now that I'm going back through these, I'm seeing some that I like, but this photo just looks, odd to me with this guy in the background, I feel like. So maybe let's just go this way. Yeah, I feel like that looks a lot better. The other was kind of odd. And you see some of these people's faces in the crowd too. It's these guys, these poor guys. I'm sure they're sore today. This was all, I took all these shots last night, so I know these guys are probably hurting today. I wonder if some of these guys are actually going out and they're probably riding like the next. I have no clue, like the whole industry of rodeo and everything like that, but I've had some buddies that are into rodeo and they do rodeo, but I've never really taken enough time to really ask them questions in detail about the sport. Okay, I think that looks fine where it's at. I need to bring I feel like there's a little bit I need to do with this one still. Let's go down here and make sure. Maybe I need to give him a little bit more. Yeah, I feel like that looks better. Look at some of these, like compared to the originals, it's like, man, these originals were god awful before I put them in Lightroom. This one's too green. Okay. Yeah, that looks a lot better. And then, yep, this one's too green too. And you can see where that green's at. You can see just by looking at the two different photos that when there's too much green. So we'll just bring up the tint a little bit. All right. And I don't like the way that this is cropped. So maybe we just cut that banner out and just do it like that. All right, now let's go ahead and take these photos over to, again, I need to just rate this as a 1. I don't want that photo in there. So we got about 6 photos, I think. We'll see. We probably only have about 5 good ones. And again, I'm going through this quick, guys. Normally I have it take a whole lot more time on this, but I guess I should take my time regardless, right? But I want to be respectful of you guys' time. Let me know if you have any questions down in the chat or in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions about these photos at all. Again, this isn't my favorite work. Again, I would not, this guy's got his hands up behind him, which is fine, but ideally his head's kind of competing against something in the background. It's not blurred out enough. So you know, you kind of get what you get whenever it comes to rodeo. But I don't know about this photo right here. Like, man, this would be such a good photo. Let's throw it in Topaz and let's see what happens. Okay, so let's see if we can just throw them all in Topaz at the same time. Have any of you guys ever used Topaz before? If you have, let me know your experience down in the comments. Because I love it. Just check these same settings and then just hit edit. It's going to make a copy of all of these photos that are inside of Lightroom right now. And it's just going to open it up inside of Topaz. So let's just go over to, I guess it's going to take a second because it's loading right here. Let's see. Yeah. I bet the music's kind of getting old, so let's see if we can add something else to the music. I think I've had this playing on repeat for a while. So we'll do this. Add music. Let's just go over to. Let me know if you guys. Well, no, we won't do it that way. I'll do it next time. Definitely next time, whenever I'm doing this, we'll have music. I'll be a lot more prepared than I was for this stream. Again, this stream is about 30 minutes behind schedule. It started this at 4. I usually try to go at like 3:30, but there's some stuff that I was having to handle and just a lot of stuff going on. So I wasn't able to be on. No excuses. There's no excuses, but there was some stuff that prevented me from being able to be on time today. Okay, so we're going to remove the noise. Let's also sharpen. Actually, let's do this. We're going to recover faces, but we're going to make sure that what we have to do is drop down this little thing here. And then we're going to click select faces. And usually something will pop up. So let's see what happens. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see it too. What do we got? Click on faces and preview to toggle. Okay. Let's do this. Cancel. Recover faces. Let's just see what it does. Because usually it pops up like with a yellow box. Probably not popping up with a yellow box because the AI is not able to detect whether or not it can see anything or pull up anybody's faces. But if there was like a group photo with people and there was like one person, it would highlight or put a yellow box around everybody's head. All right, so it's removing the noise. Yeah, while that's doing that, let's see if we can find some music over here. So I'm going to let's just pull up Epidemic Sound. All right, and then here we go. All right. Let's see if that comes through. Hold on, it's probably loud. All right. Can you guys let me know in the chat if you guys can hear that? Even if it's way too loud, because I can fix that as well. But I don't know if it's actually going to come through on the stream. Hold on, let's double check. Zappy, what's going on, man? It's been years. Good to see you thanks for having on the stream, man. Nothing too crazy going on here. What I'm doing is just editing, going through some photos and editing them in Lightroom. Let me know if the music, if you guys can hear it, just let me know down in the chat. It's good to see you too. We need to catch up, man. You need to hit me up on Facebook or something, but we need to catch up for sure. Probably don't even recognize me because I got a beard now and everything. I'm probably look completely different. All right, let's see what we got. good to see you here, man. All right, let's see. Now, looks like Topaz is it's adjusted, like done something to the colors. Okay, so I'm not really not don't really like that. So let's take the recover faces thing off because I don't know why it was just doing that on its own. And maybe we can upscale the resolution a little bit. All right. All right, let's leave that be for now. Let's keep going to the next. All right, so next what we're going to do is we're going to let that other thing just kind of handle business in the background while we go ahead and just remove the noise from this photo here. And again, the reason why I use Topaz over Lightroom is just because the difference in like the AI is just so much more powerful with removing noise and maintaining detail. You know, again, if you're doing like wildlife photography and you're doing it during like the later times of the day, whenever a lot of the animals are coming out, it's almost you're almost always going to have some noise in your image. And so having a software like Topaz, or just using if you don't have to go out and buy Topaz, you can if you're already spending money, you can get away with what you have in Lightroom. But you know, in the industry, a lot of people are very happy with Topaz, and I have been as well. And again, Topaz isn't sponsoring me to say any of this. I'm just been a user. You know, that would be cool if Topaz did want to sponsor the channel, but this has just been like a great tool for me. All right, come on now. This is taking forever. Let's do this. We're going to click on every one of these, and then we're going to send them back over to Lightroom. Come on now. All right, there we go. Remove noise, and then we're going to recover. We're going to turn off recovering faces. Turn that off. And then it should be the same thing. Yeah, so I guess with each one of these photos, it's got to go through a loading process to be able to figure out each one. So it's not the fastest workflow. Again, if you know a workflow that again, I don't use Topaz all the time. I only really use it during those times where I need to like save a photo, and I knew that these photos for the stream were going to definitely need saved. So that way, if I could still use these photos, we'll use Topaz. But again, this process it seems like it does take a little bit longer. And but typically whenever I'm editing photos, I'm not doing them within like an hour or so. So I mean, I guess it really just depends because that's not necessarily true. Depends on the client that I'm working for and what's going on. But what is going on here? Okay, let's go back over to the chat. Yeah. Yeah, 100%, man. I just last year I was gonna like I was thinking about growing a beard, and then I had no idea what I was doing, as far as like just because I've always just shaved my face, and so I didn't know how to like shape like how long I needed to grow my beard out. Everything's all natural. I'm not doing any minoxidil or anything crazy like that. I mean, if you want to use minoxidil, you can, but I wasn't about the health risk and everything like that. But yeah, it's kind of the new thing. I think we're gonna stick with it. All right, let's check over here and see. Hopefully, my computer doesn't. You know, I don't think this is going to crash. But if the stream just kind of stops, I'll be right back. All right. Lavi says, "Looks good on you." Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, man. It's good to hear. I've gotten more. I still don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I've gotten more compliments than I have like bad things being said about it. So I don't know. Sometimes people are just nice. So it's like hard to kind of filter out which is which. But I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, obviously, I don't mind it. I've been wearing it, but good to hear whenever people are like, "Hey, man, you don't look like an absolute idiot," because, or like you don't look like a caveman. So hopefully, everything just kind of looks natural. That's what I'm going for. Normal. Okay. Well, I think what we're gonna do is it looks like we've disabled all of the recover faces on all of these. Yeah. So they're just moving a lot quicker now. It's not trying to use AI to pick up people's faces. So now let's just go ahead. This was supposed to be turned on, I think. Or I think it got turned on. Yeah, we're not gonna upscale it. We're just gonna leave it. Come on now. If you guys are just tuning into the stream, what we're doing is I'm going through and editing some photos in Lightroom, and I'm using Topaz AI in combination with Lightroom to try to save some of these photos. Some of these photos were shot, they were a little bit noisy, just because to be completely honest with you, I was just winging it. I didn't have all the gear and everything that I would have needed. I was just going out there and shooting with a Sony A7 IV and with a 70 to 200 millimeter lens. And I was actually doing a shoot for a client. And once I was done with the shoot, I got VIP access to the rodeo. So I was able to just kind of hang out and take some photos of the guys doing their thing. And so this is kind of like the result of that. So we're just trying to see if we can get some images out of it. Wanted to have something to talk to you guys about. I haven't really done anything with Lightroom on my channel at all, but I do plan on doing some more Lightroom tutorials and doing some stuff with Lightroom because I do get some questions about Lightroom from time to time. And I have presets that I use in Lightroom. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments as well. But yeah, that's what we're doing is we're just kind of going through and editing some of these photos. And right now what I'm about to do is we're just going to this one photo here. I thought it was going to look good, but I don't know if we're going to save it because for the sake of time, I might try to work on it a little bit later off stream. But yeah, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and save these. It's good seeing you, man. Wanted to stop by and say what's up, but have a good one, man. See you around. Take care, Zappy. Thanks for hopping on the stream, man. All right, let's see what we got. All right. While I'm working on this, let me know if you guys have comments down in the chat. Leave them down in the or questions down in the chat, or leave me a comment below if you're watching on the replay. I'm getting this thing figured out right now. It's being a pain in the butt. And I appreciate you guys being patient and just kind of hanging out with me here on the stream because sometimes these things are, technical difficulties. I think they're bound to happen, but this is the difference between doing like a normal YouTube video and then also just kind of hanging out and doing something live. All right, these should all be good. So why am I not able to? Let's see if we go back over to Lightroom and see what happens. Okay, so what it's doing is it's sending them back over to Lightroom now. So let me go ahead and pull this back up. That's just weird. Let me pull this back up so you can see. I'm sending it back over to Lightroom now. Just going through the process. I tell you what. Yeah, it's actually not moving too terribly slow. Let's find something. Can you guys hear the music on the stream? I don't know if the music's actually coming through right now. I can hear it through my headphones, but I don't know if it's coming through on you guys' end, and I don't know if it's like overbearing or not. Just that. All right, that's moving much, much faster now. Done. Okay, so we should have a photo over here in Lightroom now. Get this little spinning wheel. Come on now. Okay, so they're going in there. They're just one at a time and being slow about it. All right, this looks good. I think Topaz is definitely doing the trick. All right, so we're gonna save this to Lightroom as well. It's going through, doing its processing. I don't know what I did there for a second. I don't, I think that there was too many things going on at once. It was trying to detect faces. It was trying to remove noise at the same time. And I just needed to pause a few of them just to do them individually. And that made it work. But you can see that it also is what is taking over to Topaz. It's going to lower the resolution just a little bit, but it's not enough to like be significant. Like it's still really, really gonna it's gonna be really high quality. If you're worried about it, you could do your denoise AI in Lightroom, but I'm willing to forego a little bit of the resolution to get a higher, to get rid of more noise, so they kind of like cancel each other out, I guess. But I mean, that's just, you're not even able to tell that it's a lower resolution. At least in my experience, you're not able to tell that it's a lower resolution image, or that it was the resolution was turned down ever so slightly, because the noise is, basically non-existent. All right. I need, next time, note to self, and you guys hold me accountable to it. You got to have some music for these things, because I mean, I guess I could go over here and do it, but downloading music and then putting it into StreamYard while I'm streaming would probably slow this process even more. So let's just see. We'll just try something real quick. Do that. All right, now let's see if we go over here. Let me know where you guys watching from. Let me know in the chat, and also let me know down in the comments where you guys watching today's stream from. I've had a few guys that was earlier. It was a few streams ago. They were watching from India. There was somebody else. Where else? They were watching from. One of my buddies was watching from Korea. So that was cool just to see where people are watching, just, from places all over the planet. And it's some places it's really late at night, and some places it's early, some places it's like the middle of the day. All right, let's see if I can get some music going in here. Add music. Okay, we got one more done. So we're going to do this. All right, added that in, and then let's close this. All right, that should be good. All right, that's working. They're moving a lot faster now that we were able to get a few of them done. But hope the stream is not lagging or moving slowly either. Let's see. Okay, that should be good. All right, here's some more music. All right, there's that. Open the chat back up. Yep. So this weekend, I'm going to probably have a lot of photos to edit. I just had a big event last night that I photographed, and then today, I had an event that I had to photograph as well. That was a really big one. And there, between those two events, there's easily 1,000 photos that I probably had to go through for each of them, because they were both. One of them was a 3-hour event, and the one today was a 4-hour event. So it's going to be a lot of pictures to edit. I also got to edit a YouTube video for Monday. So it's going to be a busy weekend. Going to have a lot of stuff going on. And then we're going to be spending time with family as well. So it's going to be a lot of stuff. I'm sure you guys, what I like to do is try to use the weekend for like a decompression period. But when you're doing the YouTube thing, it's like, and also whenever you're doing like a photographer and videographer, it's the work-life balance is tough. It's trying to find that balance and making a point to advocate for both sides, whether that's like you need to make sure that you're taking time to work towards what you're working on, but also take time to be intentional with your family time. Let's see. This is almost done too. And it's not going to let me pull them up, and it's not going to let me pull up any of these in Lightroom until it's all done. But we will know at the end of all of this. We're going to know at the end of all of this if these photos are actually usable. All right, so we can close that. And again, thank you guys for being patient, just hanging out on stream. Because, all right, that's good too, I think. And if you're not already, you can, I'm going to post these photos later on Instagram, so you can follow me at Tyler White. So just how it is on the YouTube channel. And you'll be able to see these photos a little bit later. Because I think I am going to actually post some of them, because I think we're going to be able to save them. The photos aren't to the point to where I won't post them on social media now. Would it be something I'm going to put over here on my wall? Definitely not. But that'll be something that I have for whenever the next time I go and I'm a little bit more prepared. But I understand like how to do like sports photography and stuff like that. Like you definitely need a longer lens, but man, it doesn't matter like how good you are with exposure and understanding your camera. It's like, it's still a skill in and of itself, just going out there and getting the horses in the frame and getting good photos, because you don't have any control of your subject. You can't tell them where to go. And again, you can't do that with football, but you at least know a general area where they're going to be at. You know that for about, the first 5 seconds when the horse comes out at the rodeo, but then they just go off and they go wherever. So it's just, you're trying to follow them. You're looking through the viewfinder, but then it's almost better to just kind of look through the LCD screen. Sometimes it's tricky. It definitely wasn't something that I just, I was able to just do and do it effortlessly. It definitely requires practice. And so my hat's off to those that they do that professionally. I'm just some amateur guy that's just standing on the sidelines. They got guys actually down there in the dirt with the horses and stuff that are taking photographs and stuff. Okay, so this one was trying to detect a face, but we do not need to try to do that. So let's just save that, and then we'll just reduce the noise. And then we're gonna have them back in Lightroom here in just a sec. It's moving a lot faster now that we don't have a ton of them in there. It's really good seeing some of you guys on the stream, like Zappy, I haven't talked to in forever. Haven't seen him in forever. Designer DOS, good to see you in the stream as well, man. It's been a while since I've spoke with you as well, but good to see you guys. Let's see. All right, go back over here. Yeah, so what I was rolling with was a Sony A7 IV. I was actually shooting with two Sony A7 IVs. One I had a 70 to 200 millimeter lens on it, and the other I had a Sigma 24 to 70 millimeter lens on. And this 24 to 70 was just way too, like, I couldn't get close enough to the action. So my only real option was the 70 to 200. And I think that some of those guys, even that there's guys using 300 millimeter lenses just to be able to get more compression and more depth in the background. Because, you know, some of these shots, it's like, again, I would have to be that arena for a few hours. Again, for these shots, I got these probably about 30 minutes to an hour. I'd have to be in that arena for a few hours to really nail some good shots, some shots that I was happy with. But if you're just joining on the stream, what we're doing is I'm editing some shots that I got at the rodeo last night. I was shooting a VIP event for a client, and once I was done shooting for the client, I had the option of being able to get some shots of like the action at the rodeo. So did that, and now we're just trying to get these photos to process here inside of Topaz AI, because I am an amateur when it comes to rodeo photography. And yeah, they weren't the highest resolution photos. There's definitely a lot more noise than I wanted, but now we have them back inside of Lightroom. So let's finish up with the process. So the first thing I like to do once this gets done loading is I'm going to go through here and I'm going to label with the number 1 all of the images that are just not usable. So we'll start. So what it's going to do is it's going to make a stack. It just made a duplicate of every single one of the photos that we sent over into Topaz. So I don't know why it zoomed in on his face there, but that is the face of pain, it looks like. Okay, so there should be 2 of each. And again, I still don't think that, so this is the photo from Topaz. This is the original. I honestly feel like the original might be better than the one from Topaz. Let's just do this. Let's adjust it. Let's bring that down a little bit. I don't know. That's a pretty cool looking photo, but you can definitely just see that this is all, it definitely looks very AI. Let's look at it over here. And you can see the noise, the difference in the two. So I'm not a huge fan of that whole, like, it just looks very AI. But from this perspective, from this shot here, I think it doesn't look terrible. I don't know. We'll come back to it. So let's just go to the next one. This is the original here. Come on now. Yeah, this is the original. This is with AI. It's not bad. Still has kind of an AI look to it, especially the way the horse's face looks here. Hold on, let's just do this. The horse's face in this one looks crazy regardless, but that's not too bad. This is another one. A little bit of motion blur there. What's going on with the hands here? Yeah, so it's just reduced a good bit of that noise. Let me know what you guys think too. I think I did a pretty decent job. Like this one needs to be centered up a little bit more. This is like the face of hate and discontent. I like that one better than this one. So I'll put that one a 1. I think that one looks pretty good too. Again, you can see whenever, you know, my shots were improving, there is closer towards the end. So this rider got a lot better in my shots. Like towards the beginning, I was kind of knew what I was doing. I don't even know if I want this image at all. I really just wish his head was like just a little bit over here, because this just kind of throws it off right here. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but that's just that's the way that I think about a lot of my pictures. All right, that one's not good. It's too noisy. This one's better. The only problem, oops, wrong one. The only problem is that I feel like this horizon's off. All right, let's bring the blacks down a little bit. Still looks a little green to me too, so. We're gonna call it good. That one, no. I like this photo a lot. It's probably one of my favorite ones. Just the way that the horse is looking, this face and everything. It's probably one of my favorite ones. Okay. I like this one too, but I want to do just the composition. Maybe bring it over this way a little bit. And let's do this. Let's bring down that. There we go. I think that's good how it is. Okay, let's just do this real quick. We're gonna go to the go to our library tab, see how these look. All right, let me know what you guys think down in the chat. Let me know down in the comments. This is just kind of a quick photo editing session. There's nothing too crazy. Let's look back at this photo real quick. I don't know if this guy's gonna make the cut. He just got too much. There's definitely motion blur. You can see the motion blur. Wasn't able to get it. Let's try one more thing. I'm going to try to see if we can save it. This is definitely breaking all the rules for any of the critics on whether or not you should be sharpening your photos or removing things or using AI, whatever. This isn't for a competition. This was just really just for fun, just to get some experience too. But let's add some of that sharpness to this and see what it looks like. Another thing that kind of throws this off is just where the positioning is with his hand. It's right there. You can't really see that much that's going on. The thing that does make this shot look good is the depth that is in it. Like, I don't want this guy to be right there either. I need to crop this in a little bit after I do that. But even still, let's look at the... Okay, now let's take it off. And now let's add it back. I don't see much of a difference at all. So I don't think that's going to... It's not going to make the cut. Not today. Would have been cool. But don't think that it's going to be... What did we just do? What happened? Okay, so it's the same photo. That's what it was. Okay. Well, that's a wrap, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was just me kind of going through and trying to salvage some of these photos that I took at the rodeo. This was fun. There was, there's some spots. I'm probably, for the replay, I'm going to go back and try to trim out some of that time that we were waiting on Topaz to load. So that did take a little bit longer than I wanted to, probably because I'm going live right now and I got and I'm running a bunch of programs. So, don't want to blame AI or don't want to blame Topaz for that, but you know, who knows? I definitely need to update the software. As you could probably see, I had like 9 updates on there. So I know that's one of those things that you guys will probably be lighting me up in the comments for. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I will see you guys in the next one.